Well, hello model car fans. Welcome to the Muscle Car Modeler. This is Ral, and this week I'm going to show you some updates to my project here. This is my 72 MPC Charger Rallye, which is a very rare annual that MPC put out back in 72, and from what I understand hasn't been reissued. They've changed the tooling from the 72 to the 73 and then changed to the 74. And I understand this, the 74 has been released a couple times, or one other time, but modified a little bit. Pretty rare kit as far as any of the MPC annuals go. Yeah, I had purchased this one and I really wanted to do it right. So this is the one that I've been kit bashing, and it's been kind of a stalled project. This is the one that I started back in 2010. And it's been kicking around in my box, and I showed it to you in primer and got pretty excited about getting it done. But I had some ideas on what I wanted to do and what I didn't want to do. To get you caught up, the entire body is MPC. The only exception is this whole engine compartment. This is actually from the AMT 71 Charger kit. The firewall, everything, I cut it right at the tops of the fenders, cut the cowl piece out, and spliced that right in. And it's kind of a pain because you got to mock it up and line it up and everything, get it to fit with the chassis. And then there you can see where I spliced it in and glued it, and glued the firewall in place to help line it all up. And you can see where the glass mounts. Now I have to use the AMT glass, which fits really nicely. The MPC glass didn't quite fit in here. Fits on the back window, and then I can cut it and make the back window fit. But the front window, because of this and how it's shaped and made, really doesn't work very well. But to my surprise, throwing the AMT glass in there, it actually fits the body really well. And then I had made this, these are where the screws go, but I made this shelf and glued that in place, and that actually gives the AMT chassis, the back here, something to rest on when I glue it down in place. Now it's a tight fit getting this in there, but it does fit. And then as you can see, I blacked out the entire headliner. That's all done. And the body is painted, and I got all my decals on there. These are from Keith Marks, which is about the only decals on the actual body. This is foiled, and I foiled all around the windows, and I added this strip across the top for the vinyl top because I wanted to do the 3/4 vinyl top. And I still got some other things to do, but if you saw my video on how to do a vinyl top, there's how the vinyl top came out and how it looks with the foil on there. I still have to foil the back window, but I've been doing some work on the back here. So I wanted to black out the back section here and do the little red pinstripe, but I was having a few problems with it. It wasn't working out very well, so I ended up having to black out the whole tail panel section, so it's not truly accurate, but the blackout section was optional on the 72s. And then the Rallye indentions in the doors, which these are only on the Rallye package for 72, so this is a Rallye only door and 72 only door as far as that goes. But I painted it red, and I don't remember exactly which. I believe this is just a tester's red, and then I did the real automotive clear. Oh, and in my clear coating story, I actually clear coated 3 of these cars at the same time. I shot the clear on this one, the 71 Camaro that I was doing, and I also shot the clear coat on the 71 GTO. So all 3 of those got cleared at the same time. So when I ran the 2 bodies into the garage, I grabbed the Camaro first and the GTO, one in each hand, and I put them in the garage. Well, I had this one in the backyard, just freshly sprayed the clear coat on it. My 4-year-old decided to come out, and I told him, don't touch, typical, thing, don't touch the fresh paint. So I come out and I notice fingerprints like this, just like that on the quarter panel, and a little bit on the door. It was like there's a spot right here which you can kind of see, and I thought, oh no. But I still had clear and thinner in the gun, so I took the paint out and I sprayed some more on it to get it in there where he had disturbed it, and it actually, and I went really close. I almost wish I'd filmed a how-to on that, but I didn't have any of my camera equipment out, and I didn't have time to film or plan it. It was just basically, I got some time, but not a whole lot of time because it's got a hardener in it and it's gelling up. So I went where the fingerprints were and airbrushed more paint in there, and then I backed up and sprayed it out and let it flow, and it flowed out and filled all the divots. And to my surprise, it came out really nice. You almost can't tell where he did it. As it is, I got a couple of boogers in the clear, and it's not perfect, but I've got a couple other little things in this that just are not perfect, but she'll be real presentable and real nice when she's on my shelf, and I'll be real happy with her when it's done. But I'm not in a big hurry on this one because, you know, of all the effort and work I've got into it so far, and I really don't want to redo anything, you know, especially with all this fitting and kit bashing that I've had to do. But real happy with the way this is, and I got a few things to do. I got to foil that back window, foil the emblem, and fit a few things, get the glass in there, and I'll start getting it done. This is the chassis or the interior tub from the MPC kit. Just sprayed black. I've got to detail the wood grain on it and detail a lot of that, but that'll be pretty easy to do. The chassis is from AMT, just painted and cleared. I still have to detail all of those components. But it comes with the fuel lines molded in, the brake lines, the parking brake cables, which I think is really cool, other than this one going up or over the tranny instead of across. But you know, how would you mold that? And it's got all the fuel lines and just really cool detail. If you haven't seen this chassis before, it's real heavy on the detail, which is really nice. And then here's the K-member that goes in with it, the subframe. Although this I painted red, is actually all welded to the car, and only the black sections unbolt. And on previous ones I've actually painted this whole thing black, which is not really correct. But I'm painting this a bit more correct for the model. And then here's the hood, which those are Keith Marks decals on there. The 446 pack, and then the black bulge. And this one's came out really nice. Really happy with that. And then the underside. But this is strictly from MPC. That's how they tooled it, and that's how they did it. And I also got this resin air cleaner. Not real air cleaner. The air box. This is from Hearts Parts Resin. Now I had to buy a complete 70 GTX Roadrunner resin hood, which had the hood, the air grabber door, and the box. So I just needed this part. But I bought, and I'm sure if I emailed him and asked him to just buy this part, I could have done that. But I've still got to fit it and make sure it fits the air cleaner. But I got it in there in mock-up. Another thing I did do, and I mentioned it before, this is the AMT's engine here. It's the 440 or 383. Technically the 440. But this is right from the kit. Well, almost right from the kit. Most of these parts. I did change out and put the 446 pack setup on it. That's from a Fireball Model Works. That's his resin 6-pack setup, and it's really tall. And it's really nice. It's also kind of wide, even though this is the 125th scale version. They also have a 124 scale. But I had to space the heads up a little bit out and up to get them to line up. I got a video where I was doing clay mock-up and using epoxy putty to do that. But once it's painted, you can't tell. You can kind of see where it's at, where I spaced the heads up. And then that's created a few fit issues, as this intake and carbs are much taller and they're really tight up against the hood. And to get the air cleaner to fit, this is an original, but it's the Johan one from also the 71 GTX and Roadrunner. Well, not 71, 70 Roadrunner GTX, but Johan kit. And I hollowed it out and thinned it out and got it to clear the carbs and painted it. So she's detailed and ready to go. So I did it as a 446 pack, which technically the 446 pack was not available in 72, but on paper it was for a very limited time. There are 3 documented cars, which I talked a bit about them, but that are known, 2 Chargers and 1 Roadrunner. And the Roadrunner's been restored. It's in the Brothers collection. And the 2 Chargers are not really in the public eye, but they're known. But rumor is that 6 or more were actually made, not officially made. I've decided I was going to replicate one of those, and I was half tempted to put a sunroof in the car, but I decided not to and left the vinyl top, because the actual 72 Roadrunner has a sunroof in it, and I think I'm going to duplicate that car a little closer, but not 100% to how that car actually is. But I've got a lot more stuff to do to this one, but I'm taking my time with it and just enjoying it. It's a bit more of a challenge when you kit bash this many parts, especially, and I've got all of the body and interior from the MPC kit, the entire engine compartment and chassis from the AMT kit and getting them to fit, and the suspension. Then I've got the modified engine, which it'll go to the AMT chassis just right, but because I widened it just a little bit, the exhaust manifolds are spaced out. The intake is much higher, so I have to clear all of that, and it barely fits under the hood. Even with paint, I'm kind of wondering. The air grabber, or not the air grabber, yeah, the air grabber door has some fingers that help it glue to the bottom side. They hit the air cleaner, so I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do that. I may have to modify the air grabber or glue it in differently and remove those tabs, because in mock-up it looked like that air cleaner was sitting right up against the bottom of the hood, like the hood's actually going to rest on it. But that'll be a little bit more apparent in final assembly. And I might have to shave a little bit of the bottom side here and black it all out, but that'll all be inside the air grabber base here. And if I have to shave that, I can black all that out under here, which I plan to do. So I've got some ideas on how I'm going to tackle some of the issues that are going to appear. But I'm going to be working on this one a little bit more, especially since I've finished some of my other ones, which you've already seen. So thank you for tuning in and subscribing and watching. Appreciate all your comments and your thumbs up, the like button and everything. And you guys, you have a wonderful Saturday, and I will see you next Saturday.